Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's matchup between Washed Up Warriors and Kaps Corp. Starting us off, we have Washed Up Warriors on the blue side versus Kaps Corp on the red. We have a nice team comp for both sides today. Starting us off with Kaps Corp, we have the Gnar and J4 combo. Haven't seen this in a very long time, but it's still a very strong combo. Washed Up Warriors right now, they're just posing on the bot side right here. Amari is gonna see this invade coming through from Washed Up Warriors, so they're gonna place a nice little defensive ward to allow Washed Up Warriors to just come through and secure any type of vision that may or may not want to know where Kaps Corp is going to be starting. But back to these team comps real quick. Kaps Corp has a nice wombo combo team fight with the Gnar and the J4 being able to combo each other with the ultimate coming out of Gnar and the Cataclysm. But to include that, you also have Amari's Glacial Fissure coming out of the Braum that can not only slow and keep and knock up Washed Up Warriors, but it's a massive CC chain that can come through for Kaps Corp. With Washed Up Warriors, we have a nice front to back team fight coming out of them. We have the Mundo and the Maokai who can heal a significant amount into these team fights, as well as we have Vex that can disrupt everything that's going on or anything that Kaps Corp wants to try to accomplish, while Guilty Free Soul on this MF can just annihilate a whole entire team as long as they play around Amari's Unbreakable Wall. Guilty Free Soul's ultimate can absolutely annihilate Kaps Corp's team if they're able to even just bait out the wombo combo coming from Kaps Corp, as well as this Janna with the Monsoon being able to just keep that back line alive, or being able to just get in the middle and keep the whole team alive. So with all of this healing coming through from Washed Up Warriors, what I want to see coming out of Kaps Corp is a nice Bramble Vest coming out of any of the tanks at some point. It doesn't have to be a first item, but it does need to be a part of their item build. So I want to see a Bramble Vest either on Amari, Fecals, or Ruler at some point. I want to see a nice Bramble Vest because that can really help these team fights go in their favor, because they're not going to be able to heal as much. Because the longer these team fights go, the longer or the more opportunities that Washed Up Warriors has for these team fights in order to go in their favor. Nothing too crazy going on here in the early game, but we have a nice flag and drag coming in out of Fecals. It's missed, but Janna ended up getting rooted. Guilty Free Soul has to pop that barrier. Doesn't go down, but the heal has to come out of the Braum to keep this Jhin alive. So 3 main summoners coming down for both sides of either team in this bot lane. So what I want to see is these jungles really start focusing on the bot side, trying to utilize the aggression that they can, with the fact that they don't have any defensive summoners to be able to get out of anything. Maokai looking on the backside. Washed Up Warriors decide to go in. They root up the Jhin. First blood goes over to the MF. Washed Up Warriors off to a great start. They're going to try and turn their attention onto the Fecal. Frazier was able to flash, ult back, and that gives a double kill over to the Misfortune, which was a huge start for Washed Up Warriors. That was a beautiful gank coming in through Frazier. Twisted advance going through on Alex. Amari's able to jump over the wall and keep him protected. There's nothing else is going to come out of that. But Washed Up Warriors off to a great start, securing a nice 2K, a nice 1K gold lead over Kaps Corp. Juggernaut needs to be careful. He's not able to heal just yet. He needs that level 6. With this Gnar is a very strong champion, and he can really utilize Triforce better than just about any other top lane champion. So I'm going to assume that this Gnar is going to build a Triforce first. But with that being said, Gnar is going to have to play around his Gnar bar. Kaps Corp, even though they're strong, the majority of their team fight prowess comes from Gnar being in Mega Gnar form. So knowing that, they need to be able to play around it. But on the opposite side, Washed Up Warriors need to also see that and know that, hey, we need to wait out this Mega Gnar and look for an engage afterwards. Because if they fight while Mega Gnar is up, there's a strong possibility that they can actually lose the team fights just because Gnar is in Mega Gnar form. Juggernaut, level 6, is able to step forward. When Gnar's not Mega, he's able to take a lot of damage in these early trades. So Juggernaut needs to really try and focus that. But here comes Frazier in for a twisted advance onto the back line of Kaps Corp. Guilty Free Soul going for the kill and is able to secure it onto the Jhin. Jhin was unable to get out of that. This is what I like to see. Washed Up Warriors knows that bot lane did not have flash, and they used that to their advantage and came back down with good timers and was able to secure another kill over to this Misfortune, giving him a 3-0 score and giving him a very strong lead into this. I like to see when teams utilize timers for summoners, because you can really abuse that in the early game while there's no items on either side. So Washed Up Warriors doing a phenomenal job right now. Janna just trying to make sure that there's good solid vision. Vex. Going to this mid lane, I'm actually liking what I'm seeing on both sides. Ruler able to get out. Juggernaut's back, but Juggernaut's popped the ghost. Is he really gonna try and run down this Gnar? Gnar, I think, isn't gonna be able to survive this. He flashes under the tower, gets a nice slow double turret shot onto Juggernaut, but he was unable to secure that kill onto Ruler. But here comes a flag and drag, knock up into a slow. That was a nice return kill coming out of Kaps Corp. But back to this mid lane matchup. This Syndra versus Vex, what I want to see right now and what they're both doing is phenomenal. Both sides are just trying to farm it out to the best of their ability. Syndra needs to get stacks so that she gets her execute on her ultimate for Unleashed Power. The faster she can get 100 stacks, the faster she can start executing some of the carries for Washed Up Warriors. But both sides, I want to see them just continue to play safe and doing what they're doing, because at level 9, the Vex can really start pushing these waves with one Q being able to wipe out all of the caster minions in the mid wave. Vex can then start to look for roams and start to open up this map for Washed Up Warriors. But Alex is not going to have the rotation power. So what I want to see is Alex trying to press up aggressively, clear these waves so that he can rotate with this Vex or faster than the Vex. If he's unable to do so, he needs to just take turret platings and or take this first mid-tier tower. But right now I like seeing what both mid laners are doing. The jungles are doing the best they can to try and support these lanes as well as secure these objectives. Both sides were able to secure some of these grubs. Syndra coming in for a gank. Amari jumps in. Nice root coming through onto the Janna. Janna unfortunately goes down even though he popped Monsoon. Bullet time coming out for this Misfortune. But Frazier peeling like a god for this guilty free soul. Shadow Surge just went wide off of this Vex, but it still was a nice double kill coming through for Washed Up Warriors. Frazier flashing forward, trying to secure this kill onto the Jhin. He's able to do so, but the Cataclysm unfortunately was just slightly late unable to block him underneath this tower. So Frazier's gonna be able to get out alive. J4 just doing what he can to try and soak up some of this XP so it doesn't go to waste. Both sides are playing very smart and doing very well. Unfortunately, Kaps Corp is just supercharging this MF, being 5-0, and already 10 minutes into the game, MF has a full-blown bloodthirster. But here comes Sprite, looking to help out this Mundo. Mundo lands a nice slow. Gnar is no longer Mega Gnar. Are they going to be able to secure this kill? And down goes Ruler. That was a nice roam coming out of Sprite. Sprite knew his back timer. He started looking. He wanted to try to secure some vision for these grubs. Flag and drag coming out of Fecals. Vex is able to get a nice fear and back out. Frazier and Sprite are still hovering around, but Washed Up Warriors is gonna turn their attention to these grubs. And while they turn their attention to these grubs, it looks like Fecals is gonna just try and steal one so that they can't get the four grubs. Nice Glacial Fissure coming out of Amari. The stun was unable to come through. And all three grubs go over to, hold on, Unleashed Power comes through. The flash was not enough coming out of that Vex, but Unleashed Power was able to execute the Vex for a nice little tower dive, while Washed Up Warriors was securing all three grubs on the top side. Knowing where Kaps Corp, knowing where everybody was on the enemy team, was able to secure a nice kill underneath that tier 1 in the bot lane. Juggernaut having the ult, he ghosts. Running away from this Gnar. Gnar about to go mega. He ultimates. Monsoon comes through, but Juggernaut ran away. Frazier comes in to assist. Twisted Advance was able to help, but Sprite gets the kill onto the Gnar. That was beautiful rotation coming out of Washed Up Warriors. T1 Ruler, he knew that Washed Up Warriors was on the top side, but I'm assuming he thought that they backed after they got the grubs, and he pressed his luck. Juggernaut was able to bait him into that fight, and it ended up going into the favor of Washed Up Warriors. This second dragon is secured coming out of Kaps Corp. That stun just missed. All of Kaps Corp is trying to secure a kill onto this Vex, but it's going to be unable to do so. Looking at these items, 13 minutes in. Misfortune still sitting on that Bloodthirster, but the Gnar was able to complete a full Trinity Force, so this Gnar is actually very strong. Mundo coming through with, hold on, Twisted Advance landing. Fecals trying to get out. Flag and drag over the wall. He's going to be able to get out alive. Meanwhile, Gnar going mega, trying to apply pressure to this Mundo, but Mundo's going to be able to regen all of this health. T1 Ruler should just be looking right now to try and secure what should have just been looking to try to secure a plate before this 14-minute mark. A nice fear coming through with the Vex and an electrocute proc. Now, Washed Up Warriors found themselves in a predicament. Fecals is probably going to go down. MF is finally coming in, able to land a nice bullet time. It's going to land a nice double kill coming in for Washed Up Warriors. An unfortunate positioning for Washed Up Warriors was able to turn around and get them a nice double kill and strong positioning in the jungle of Kaps Corp. Tower goes down, fear comes through, electrocute procs, and that's Jhin unfortunately was unable to back because that Maokai was keeping him underneath that tier 1 tower. Flash comes through from Alex, was unleashed power and was able to get that kill onto the Janna. But Guilty Free Soul is so strong and so ahead. He's able to just follow a Syndra and just annihilate that Syndra. Even though it was a 1-for-1 trade, this is just making this Misfortune Giga fed. Misfortune should back. I'm assuming has enough gold to buy a whole, look at that, buys a whole Essence Reaver outright. This Herald is up. We got pings coming through for Washed Up Warriors. It looks like they're going to position themselves to try and get more vision around this Herald and then go from there. They may try and bait something out from Kaps Corp. I still would like to see some type of grievous wounds coming out of the side of Kaps Corp. Right now, due to the fact that there's so much healing coming through on Washed Up Warriors, I know key items are essential, but right now I would like to see a Bramble Vest going on this Braum, because Braum's able to proc that with his shield. Any damage coming through on the shield or blocked from the shield will be able to apply grievous wounds to anybody on the side of Washed Up Warriors, and they really need some type of grievous wounds right now. Washed Up Warriors has a lot of vision on the red side of the jungle for Kaps Corp. Kaps Corp, they really need to try and get some type of vision control and defensive warding in their jungle, because right now with the tier 1 mid tower gone, Washed Up Warriors literally can walk into their jungle at any point in time, clear out any vision, and look for picks. That was a beautiful back timer. Washed Up Warriors decided to make the call for their team to back with 1 minute until this third dragon comes up. Mind you, we're on an Infernal Rift. So because of this, they had a nice back. They're going to be able to get some nice warding down around this dragon to know well beforehand what goes on with Kaps Corp. They're going to know where everybody's at. Vex, I understand that you wanted to try and clear that wave, but you waited a little bit too long for Gnar with Mega. Mega Gnar does a lot of damage, and that was an unfavorable trade for Vex in the top lane. But being able to press Twisted Advance comes through from Frazier. Frazier's called out. Cataclysm comes in for Kaps Corp. Everyone at Kaps Corp is focusing down this Maokai on Washed Up Warriors, but here comes a huge bullet time coming out of Misfortune, but it's blocked by the Braum. Washed Up Warriors, they lost one, but here comes the surge coming out of this Vex. Vex gets 1 kill, resets on this ult. Here comes the third reset, come through for the Vex. Vex is just bouncing back and forth in this team fight, allowing Washed Up Warriors to just clean a nice 3 for 1 in that team fight. And now they're going to be able to secure the third dragon. Juggernaut able to land that slow onto Alex. Alex staying a little too long, but it's going to be able to pop that unleashed power onto that Janna and get a 1-for-1 kill. Right now, Washed Up Warrior has a beautiful front line, like meat shield going on their side. Unfortunately, for the side of Kaps Corp, they have 2 champions that majority of their damage does all burst damage. So with this burst damage coming through with the Syndra and the Jhin, if it's not enough to annihilate their front line or annihilate the back line in one rotation, they're going to be in a very unfavorable situation in these team fights. And due to the fact that this Misfortune is already 10-0, they're going to be able to do a lot of damage. Like right now, Jhin, both top laners are fighting for their lives against the enemy team. Juggernaut popping his ult, trying to run away, but here comes Nature's Grass and landing a nice root onto T1 Ruler. Washed Up Warrior is going to be able to secure a nice kill. Here comes that huge bullet time, splitting up the team, but that Glacial Fissure missed Guilty Free Soul and was able to clean that Meanwhile, Alex, looking for the flank, was able to pick up one. Washed Up Warriors securing and pushing these bot towers against Kaps Corp. Kaps Corp fighting two different fronts, but losing on both sides. Kaps Corp has, back to what I was saying with Kaps Corp only having burst damage. Their damage is strong if they were even, but right now with a 10k gold lead going in the favor of Washed Up Warriors, right now Kaps Corp, what they need to do is they just need to group as 5 and look for picks. Allow Washed Up Warriors to just kind of press where they want to press and just push waves. They need to push waves, play safe, but at the same time group, because if they can pick out anybody on Washed Up Warriors, they can start to claw their way back into this game slowly but surely. They're not going to be able to secure any more dragons in the next for the next couple of spawns. So what I want to see out of Kaps Corp is I want to see them just trying to secure as much farm and keeping these lanes pushed so that they don't get even more behind, because when these items start to come through for the side of Kaps Corp, they can start to whittle away the front line, but then blow them up if need be. Fecals looking for the Mundo. Cataclysm comes through. Stun comes out. Jhin and Syndra doing the best they can to try and annihilate this Mundo. The Unleashed Power was going to be able to secure that kill on the Juggernaut. But meanwhile, Washed Up Warriors, knowing that all of Kaps Corp is on the bot side and they're going to be trying to rotate, they start this dragon early. They have a lot of damage coming out of this misfortune, and they should be able to secure it. Meganar is going to be not allowed for this fight due to the fact that he just lost it. But here comes the Surge coming out of the Vex, landing a nice Fear and able to secure that kill onto the Gnar. Gnar, as soon as Gnar lost Mega, he should have just tried to run away. Unable to be able to get into that. Frazier going to take up this tower. They're going to be able to take off that top tower. Mundo TPing to the mid lane. Alex trying to TP away. He was able to get away. Amari trying to keep this Jhin alive. Amari flashes. But here comes a flash out of Guilty Free Soul. They're still trying to chase this Amari. Bullet time comes in. A nice kill onto Amari. And they're going to be able to secure 2 kills on the side of Washed Up Wonders. Flag and Drag coming through. He's trying to get this kill on a Juggernaut. Fecal's doing the best he can, but he had to flash away. Monsoon coming through, trying to keep this Mundo alive. But Mundo unable to stay alive. A nice stun coming out of this Syndra, getting a nice shutdown onto the Vex for the side of Kaps Corp. And this is what I'm talking about. Kaps Corp needs to be looking for picks. If they can just land some picks and get some of this shutdown gold, they can claw their way back into this game. Slowly but surely. Nature's Grass comes in. Twisted Advance follows. A nice knock up into the Tornado. Alex, barely alive, flashes away, but Frazier gets killed. Now, Washed Up Warriors is looking to try and secure this middle inhib tower. But the Curtain Call was able to push them off. Washed Up Warriors looking for this next dragon. It's going to be spawning in 10 seconds. They're trying to just secure some vision so they know where everything's at. If I'm Washed Up Warriors, I'm going to just try and kill this dragon on spawn. With the lead that Washed Up Warriors have over Kaps Corp, they just need to just burn this and start pushing these lanes. When they start pushing the lanes, they can then try and rotate for a dragon, and they can look for an end with a dragon buff, or with a Baron buff. My apologies. Washed Up Warrior is going to have a nice reset, so this indicates that they're going to be looking to try and secure this Baron with a huge 11k gold lead over Kaps Corp. Washed Up Warriors really can just kind of pick any fight that they want, because these fights are going to go in their favor just because they can smack them with their wallets right now. That's how far ahead they are. But they do still need to be careful, because the Syndra is still a huge threat. If Syndra can land a kill onto Guilty Free Soul and collect the bounty, Alex will be able to just start annihilating and poking out the front line with his Qs. Mundo alting, trying to chase down the Syndra. Nature Grass is going to land. Twisted Advance comes through, and it's going to be a nice kill coming through for Guilty Free Soul, making him 14-0. He's not died. Perfect KDA. Phenomenal farming. He's doing the best that he can to carry Washed Up Warriors. Cataclysm comes through for a nice 3-man ult, but here comes the bullet time. Amari was able to have a nice shield. Huge fear coming out from the Vex, and was able to secure a 3-for-0 on the side of Washed Up Warriors. They are steamrolling this match right now, and because of that, they're gonna force this tier 1, this tier 3 tower in the mid lane and secure this inhib. Frazier, extremely tanky. It's just gonna be able to tank out these tower shots. They're gonna look for 2 inhibs. Are they gonna look for an end, or are they gonna start the back? Death timers still aren't that long, and all of Kaps Corp will be up here shortly. MF sitting on a whole item ahead of this Jhin. If he can even just land a slow into an ult, it's going to be huge. Here comes Nature's Grass coming out of Frazier. Locks up 2 of them. Twisted Advance onto the Syndra. They focus their attention onto the Syndra. Syndra goes down. Washed Up Warriors going to be able to secure that second kill onto Amari. Now Juggernaut leading this advance. Pops the Ghost. Where are they going to turn their attention? Where's the call coming from? Curtain call comes from the backside. Janna looking for a tornado. He's going to be able to land it. Fear comes through from the Vex. And this is going to be a beautiful, beautiful game number 1 coming out of Washed Up Warriors. They were unable to secure that final kill to pad the stats. But that was a beautiful game coming out of Washed Up Warriors versus Kaps Corp. Kaps Corp did a great job in the early game trying to nullify some of this bleeding. But unfortunately, they didn't have a Grievous Wounds to help against this healing prowess that came out of the side of Washed Up Warriors. But both sides played phenomenal, and I look forward to see what comes out of game number 2.